Donald Trump's entire campaign can be understood through the lens of this 1987 quote from his book, The Art of the Deal. I want to share it with you again because, to me, it's an aha moment where you go, oh, I see what he's doing. So, here it is. He said, "The point is that if you are a little different or a little outrageous, or if you do things that are bold or controversial, the press is going to write about you. I've always done things a little differently. I don't mind controversy. The result is that the press has always wanted to write about me." Okay, now, I give you that to then tell you this fact. It's something we discussed in a recent story when the numbers came out. Donald Trump has gotten $1.8 billion worth of free media. So he doesn't buy as many ads as all the other candidates, and he still gets his name out there a lot, and he still gets a lot of coverage because they cover him no matter what. So it's $1.8 billion in free media. Now, you might say, okay, well, what are the other candidates? Is it comparable? Hillary Clinton, who's, I think actually has more votes than Donald Trump right now. She's gotten, I believe the number's about 730 million. So less than half of what Trump has gotten. Now, again, you could fire back and say, well, Kyle, not all that is positive. But I would submit to you that indeed, when it is not positive, what angle are they covering? They're covering the shock angle. They're not covering, hey, here's an in-depth look into his policies and why they violate international law and the Geneva Conventions and why this is, a horrible thing for the country, and let's get into policy, substance, and detail. When they're going after him, they're not doing that. When they're going after him, they're doing PC outrage. Oh my God, he said the word pussy. Here's a clip of him from 8 years ago saying the word motherfucker. Did you see what he said about that female reporter or whatever? And then you run with that, Well, there's a problem with that. Most people are adults and they look at it and they go, okay, yeah, that may mean he's kind of a dick, but whatever, what else you got for me? And if all you're covering is the angle that he's a dick, well, people don't have an issue with voting for a dick. They don't have to like you to vote for you. They just have to think maybe you'll get the job done. So when he gets out there and he says, "Make America great again," and he hammers home the simple message of like, I'll make the country great, I'm looking out for you, these trade deals are fucked up, and he keeps throwing that out there ad nauseum, ad infinitum. And the media's, when they go after him, it's never on substance. It's, oh my God, you said a naughty word. Well, we're all adults here. What the fuck? You got your toddler watching the nightly news to see what's going on in the election? What's your toddler's thoughts on Harry Reid? Please, it's ridiculous. So since that's the case, that $1.8 billion in free media, it absolutely is helping him. Now, I'm not somebody who says there's no such thing as bad press, but I am somebody who says most coverage is good coverage. So it's not that there's no such thing as bad press. It's that most of the time you can get away with whatever kind of press coverage you're getting as long as you're getting coverage. So there is a way to knock him down a few pegs and cover him and have an effect in the opposite direction. But they're not doing that. Like I said, when they go after him, it's for PC nonsense. So Adam Johnson of Alternet has a really interesting way that he categorizes this. He calls it the Kardashian coefficient. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. How did Kim Kardashian get famous? So she's from a family that was somewhat famous at the time. I think, what was it, her father who defended O.J. Simpson or was on the team that did that. And then later on, obviously, she was dating Ray J. A mediocre and not an A-list celebrity, a celebrity. Did a sex tape, the sex tape leaked. People think, oh my God, she's fucking super hot. She was hanging out with Paris Hilton. Next thing you know, boom, she's got one of the largest shows ever, and everybody knows who the fuck she is. So what happened there? It wasn't like it was nonstop positive coverage, and then everybody came to love her. No, it was, ooh, controversy, things are happening, media coverage, ooh, salacious stuff. And then, as a result of that, super popular, super famous. Now everybody knows who she is. So Donald Trump in many ways is comparable to that. Daddy was famous, or daddy was super rich. So he was a spoiled little prick. He says, oh, I only took $1 million from him. No, you did that when he was alive. When he died, you got much more than that. Please. And then once he's old enough and he's doing these deals and whatnot, he says outrageous things. He does outrageous things. He gets his name in the press. Now he runs for president, and same thing. It's just shock, outrageous stuff, salacious stuff. And people, this is different. This is interesting. This isn't like the other fake-ass politicians with their fake-ass rhythm and cadence and way of speaking and their inflection over the proper syllable in the word and their awkward pauses like Ted Cruz does when he says something. He says, the American people... Why are you pausing there? There's no need to pause there. Finish your fucking sentence. So people look at Trump and they go, well, at least he's not that. At least he's not that. And he's kind of entertaining. So as Matt Taibbi says, this has really just become a bad reality show. U.S. politics and this long election season, it's a bad reality show. And people look at the heel and they go, the heel is the most interesting character. The heel is stealing from wrestling phrases. That means the bad guy. Well, at least he's the interesting character. So he rises in the polls and rises and rises and rises. And here we are today. So Trump said it all the way back in 1987. I don't mind controversy. I don't mind doing things differently. I don't mind being bold. I don't mind pissing people off. And guess what? The media is going to cover me. And guess what? That's going to help me. You might think you're not helping me, but you are.